Hi, I'm AP and I'm just a girl who likes to talk about movies, books, and TV shows. So if you're into that, please stick around. You know, there's some things in this world that I am okay with not knowing about. I'm willfully ignorant. There's a reason why I don't turn on the news anymore, because I don't want to know. But there's sometimes where I get morbid curiosity and I tend to dabble into things because I just want to know why it's so common and why people like it. And being an avid reader, TV watcher, moviegoer, and all those things, you tend to run into some like really interesting and borderline weird tropes. And I want to talk about that today. Now, before I get started, we listen and we sometimes judge, okay? Honestly, I really don't care what you're into. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm really big on like, if you're not hurting anyone, why do I care? It has nothing to do with me. Read what you want, watch what you want, don't really care. However, I'm still allowed to have an opinion. I'm gonna talk about it because I can.
And that's on period.
Now that that's being said, I'm gonna break this video into like 3 different categories. We're gonna have yellow. Yellow is going to stand for basically, I know that it's weird, but I actually enjoy it and I've read multiple things from it. Orange. Orange is going to be, I've read it. I didn't necessarily enjoy it. I can understand why some people will be into it. And red. And red is basically, y'all need help. I don't get it. This is super weird to me. I don't understand the appeal.
Stop it.
I've read it. I've watched it. I've seen it. I can't get behind it. There's also going to be some places where some of the categories, some of the tropes enter to like a weird spot where I'm like, it's kind of like orange, it's kind of red, it's kind of yellow. Let's get into it. I'm gonna start off with second chance romances. Now, for some people, you're gonna be like, that's not weird, that's like a common trope. And I know, however, to me what makes it weird is, if you hurt me, okay? If you hurt the main character, if you betrayed her, when you're coming back for your second chance, you better grovel. You understand me? You better worship the ground that she is walking, okay? You better literally redeem yourself. And I'm talking about you, Colin, okay? Because season 3 of Bridgerton, that man did not grovel enough, okay? He did not beg enough. And that is weird to me, because if you mess up, you better redeem yourself. And he didn't do that at all to me. Well, he did, but like not really. Like, I wanted him to suffer a little bit and he didn't. And to me, if you're writing a second chance romance, that man, in particular if it's a man, he needs to grovel, and if he doesn't, that's weird behavior. So that is why it's in the yellow. Then the next one is, technically, when I think about it, it should technically be an orange, but because I enjoy it and I do read it here and there, I'm going to put it in yellow. So that is the omegaverse. Now,
I can explain.
there's different levels to this trope. I personally love the werewolf supernatural storyline. I like the pack dynamics, and I think its version of found family a lot more than vampires, because I feel like a lot of the time it's like they're loners and then they find each other, and it's kind of more cold, whereas with like the pack dynamic or like the werewolf stuff, it's a lot more warmer and like homier, and I tend to like that a bit more. And so because of that, I like found my way into like the omegaverse. And if you were on Wattpad in like 2016, low-key to like 2020, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm not gonna lie, this stuff is weird. It's so interesting because it's not like what you typically see on TV. On TV, it's a little bit more normal. It's like you got the alpha, beta, omega type of thing, and it's like work. But in the books, it's more like a deeper dive into like the different dynamics, and so you got like mating stuff, and it's weird. It's so weird, but it's such a good time because you'd be sitting there and be like, what the fuck is, like, what is going on? It's such a good time. I'm sorry, I genuinely enjoy reading it, but I understand why some people are like, nah, this is too much. I've only recommended this to like really close friends and family, and I've only recommended it to my sister, if I'm being honest. And she's read it, she's like, I just can't get into the whole my alpha thing. And I'm like, low-key, yeah, it's super corny sometimes, because you'll be like reading it and then they'll be like, my inner wolf, and you're like, I can't. I need to stop. So I read it in small doses, but that's why it's in the yellow. I personally enjoy it. I think it's a good time, and yeah. Moving on to orange. Now this category is going to be a bit controversial, and I don't care because it's my opinion. Like I said before, this is like, I understand why people like it. It's weird to me, but I get why you're into it. All these tropes I've read before, so it's not like I haven't read it and I'm just talking out. Like I've actually like dabbled into it. The first one is going to be bullies to lovers. Now, typically, I've only really seen this one. No, I've seen it in like 2 different categories. It's usually romances or plus size, where the main girl is a plus size character. Basically, you'll either have the one guy beat up his love interest in high school, like literally torment, like he should be in jail for the things that he done to his love interest in the story. But he'll beat him up, and 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, senior year comes around and he's like, I've been in love with you the entire time and I'm so sorry. And I'm sitting there like, nah, you should be in jail, but dude, like this is not okay. And to me, it's not enough wrong. Like, it's one of those ones where I'm like, no, you literally torment this man all of his childhood and teenhood, and now you want to be like, I'm in love with you? That's weird. That is weird. I'm sorry. I love this show so much, but Sex Education, like, I like that couple. I love their journey, but still, you tormented him. You're not, you need help. Jesus. Then another category in that is when it happens to be like a plus size romance. And this one annoys me so much because a lot of the times it's like he bullied her because she was fat, and then he's like, she comes back, she got her revenge body, so she's skinny, she's palatable, and he's like, I've always had a thing for you. No. Excuse me, sir. If you could not love me when I look this way, what makes you? No. And then she'd be like, oh my god, he likes me. Girl, stand up. If you liked her from the beginning, but you couldn't be with her because she was fat, because her friends were making fun of her, or your friends were making fun of her, or you were making fun of her because she didn't look the way you wanted, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, no, she's a baddie, I want her now, but I always had a thing for her. No, you're weird, you need help, and absolutely not. But like I said before, like I said, it was Sex Education. There has been times where I've like understood the character or understood the relationship and been like, okay, I can see it, I get it, you know? The next one is friends to lovers. And you might say, actually, why is this in orange? This makes no sense. It should be in yellow, or it shouldn't be in here at all. I'm talking about, again, a specific sub-trope within the trope where I like to call it you're too irresistible and I'll do anything for love. So the too irresistible one is you'll have the best friends and one of them or both of them are in a relationship with someone else, right? And the entire book they're like, that's just my best friend. What are you talking about? I don't want to be with them. What are you talking? Like, oh my god, like I would never do this to you. You don't have to worry about him. You don't have to worry about her. Meanwhile, they're gaslighting their significant other into saying like, my best friend is just my friend, like nothing's happening. And boom bam, chapter 12, they hook up while they're both still in relationships, and they're like, oh. And to me, that ruins the couple. It ruins it for me because it's like they're cheaters. What are you talking about? They literally just hurt their... No, and that's weird. And then on the same breath, and it's typically the girl that does this, and it drives me crazy, but one of them is usually her, are like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. You normally got into a relationship with your significant other when you had feelings for your best friend. Disgusting! What are you talking about? Then the second thing is, I will do anything for love. I cannot stand this trope, especially when it's in the friends to lovers, because it sets like a precedent. Like, you can literally commit a war crime against your significant other or the person that you're interested in, and they still be your girlfriend at the end, or they'll still be your boyfriend at the end, and that is crazy work to me. If you know that I'm in love with someone else, but you do everything in your power to manipulate the situation or wear me down to, I'm like, okay, well, I might as well be with you, you're right here. What is that? That is not wrong. That is weird behavior, because the whole thing about like being in love with someone is like to want them to, even though they can't be with you, they could be with someone else. They could find that person that they want to, and that will still make you happy. Nah, I'm going to basically commit fraud or be really manipulative and to try to get you to win me. Now, my best friend, she has a channel too, where she talks a little bit about this in the movie called How to Date Billy Walsh. I'm not really sure about it, but I'll link it like somewhere over here or whatever. And she basically does a lot better job of like diving into the movie and talking about this trope more than I do. And so I would advise you to check it out. Now, before you go and do that, finish this video. She also says that this is a good movie. I just want to make it known that our opinions don't necessarily align. The next thing on the list is dark romance. Now, this one is more of like orange and red because it's like on that line. And the reason why is because, yes, I can understand the appeal of like wanting to be with the guy who will destroy the world for you, or wanting to be with like, I'm the big tough powerful guy. Like, I understand that perspective and I understand that desire for some people, but in the same breath, I think it kind of creates a bit of, it's kind of like true crime where it desensitizes people in a way to, it starts making certain things that shouldn't be seen as okay in real life okay, you know what I mean? So like, hear me out. When you're reading it, especially like as a grown adult, you have the understanding that this is fiction, it isn't real. And even though you can have that discernment, when you consume things over and over and over and over again, a lot of the time you start to believe what you're reading, or you start to be like, oh, that's kind of okay. You start making excuses for it, because there's no reason why a group of women should be talking about, hey, this guy would be perfect for dark romance books, when he's actively committed crimes against women in real life. There's no reason we should be romanticizing that. So I think it kind of toes the line on like that danger zone, in my opinion. I think that's something to keep note of. And so that's why for me, I can't really get into it, because a lot of the time I'd be like, this man just kidnapped her. She got Stockholm syndrome. Why are we here? He just murdered people in front of her. Like, why is she like, yes? You know? Now we're moving on to section red. And this is,
Get some help.
this one I do not understand the appeal at all. And step-sibling romances. I'm going to be honest, I don't understand Hollywood's or media's obsession with the idea of step siblings, because like, I can't even say that this is like similar to the omegaverse, where it's like this is just like a book thing. Like no, don't get me wrong, I understand the whole forbidden love thing, and I understand like, oh, this is like dangerous and this is a secret and we like keep it between us type of things, right? But that only works if it was like, your dad killed my dad and so now our kingdoms are at war and we're going at it. There's no inkling of us being related. Listen, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't, I will not have an interest in this. Oh my goodness,
I'm having a fucking panic attack right now. I need to calm the fuck down.
that don't disturb you? Like, they don't, I'm sorry, I want to cry, scream, and throw up. The fact that I have to make that statement alone is like, we're not really. And like, I was reading one book and I didn't know, because sometimes I judge a book by its cover and I just grab a book off the shelf and just like read it. Like, the cover is cute, I'm just gonna read it. And I do no research. This is why it's important to do your research. And I was just reading it and I got to a point where I'm like, oh, these are step siblings? Okay, maybe they won't make it weird. No, the author made it, she made it weird. And I'm like, y'all are nasty. Y'all are disgusting. I
need to calm the fuck down.
There are so many people on this planet, right? There are so many people out there that you could possibly have a relation. You can cohabitate, find a companion, and you choose your step sibling? That's disgusting. I can't do it. It's weird to me. I'm sorry. No, I'm not, because y'all need help. Anyway, moving on to our last but not least topic. Now this one's gonna get a little serious. We're gonna get a more serious side of AP here, but I think this one's important to talk about. And that's age gap relationships. Now, before anyone says anything, almost all people are in like there's a bit of a gap between you and your partner. However, there are certain lines where it's like, nah, jail immediately, because this shouldn't be a thing. And if we're talking about, she's 16 and you were a full-grown adult, for instance, just look up the Australian Lady book talk and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, where you'll have a character who is obsessed with his love interest, but she's like 16 or damn near even 3, and he waited all of this time until she turned 18 to be like, I'm in love with you, but he had a thing for her when she was a minor. There is something wrong with you. He needs to be under the jail. And the fact that like justifications within it drives me crazy, because there's no justifying it at all. And like, a lot of people, or like the author or the character tries to like frame it as, oh, she's just mature for her age, or like she has like an intellect. The way I was thinking when I was 18 and the way that I'm thinking now at 20 is different. And for the most part, I was a pretty mature kid. Like, I had a pretty rational head. So no, I'm 24 and I wouldn't even date a 20-year-old. Why would I even look? You're gross, bro. You're gross. There's no framing it to make it appealing. Imagine your kid, like you and your kid going to the park and some random child's like, oh, where's your dad, to your kid, and they're like, oh, he's over, and he's in a walker. Also, also a category, I'm including vampires in that too. I'm going to be completely honest. The way that they're written in books, the way that they're depicted in media, and I'm going to use Vampire Diaries as an example because Steffi and Damon, they look like they're 20. Like, yeah, you could maybe be like, okay, they're in their senior year, but you look at them and you can clearly see they could be in their grown full adults men. So this idea that they have to go back to high school instead of just being an adult and doing adult, it's a crazy phenomenon to me. Why? It's weird. So you could be in your 20s or even pass off as your early 30s and you choose to go back to high school? And then a lot of people says as a vampire, brain locks in whatever age they were. That is a load of baloney. You're telling me you'd be on this planet for 100 years and you have no growth? That makes no sense. It's not like the writers can't pick an age. You know, like you could date a 30-year-old. You could date a 25-year-old. You want to choose an 18? You're a weird specimen. Anyway, those are all my weird tropes. The ones that I think are weird, the one I think not so weird. Yeah, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Leave your opinions if you like, if you have any other weird tropes. If you try to defend anyone in the orange and red list, I promise you, you're not going to change my mind, so don't. But anyway, have a nice one and see you next time.